Okay, so we are just waiting for the session on YouTube to go live, which we are right now. Okay, so good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining the last session as part of the BTP Ambassadors series. We've seen many different facets of BTP and the functionality that BTP as a platform brings to you to solve many different kinds of business challenges. Today, we will see one such topic as well. So, since ChatGPT was released to the public, the entire interest around AI and specifically around generative AI based on large language models has really peaked. But SAP has been working on and releasing AI-based applications, or rather embedding AI within its applications for a long time now. But today, the conversation is all going to be around artificial intelligence and how SAP is infusing its products with artificial intelligence to make things that much more simpler for customers. We have Srivatsa who will talk to us about and share with us where is SAP going with respect to the business AI or artificial intelligence. What can customers expect from SAP from an artificial intelligence point of view? He will also probably talk about the strategy and why SAP is taking this tact. We'll also see some use cases which talk about or which show how this all coming to life. We will also see in different functional areas as to know how infusing AI makes that functional that particular function that much more productive and adds value to the business. So with that setup, I would like to hand it over to Srivatsa to take it up and go along. Over to you, Srivatsa. Just introduce yourself and take it away, please.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for the introduction. Yeah, I think as it was mentioned, right, you've had a couple of sessions already on the BTP, and this is one of them on SAP AI, right? I think always nowadays at SAP, there is a lot of momentum. I mean, at the moment there is a talk about AI. All the ears are up for it, and everybody tries to put their point of view, and there is a lot of activity, a lot of things which are ongoing at SAP. But essentially during this session, I will try to cover and give a little bit an overview of all the things that we are trying to put together at SAP. But before that, I'm about me. I'm Srivatsa Dikshit. I'm part of SAP for last 15 years. I've been working in different areas of SAP, from analytics to IoT, and then now in AI. Been working as product owner, product manager, enhancement specialist, many roles including performance engineering in the past. Currently, my responsibility is to provide enablement and adoption to our customers and partners. We also work with our partners to scale their use cases to production. So that's about me. So without further delay, let me get into the topic. And if you have questions in between, you can feel free to ask them, or if you paste it in the chat window, I will also try to answer this post the session as well. Okay, so let me get started. So as I said, SAP is all ears for AI, and I think there's a lot of announcement that has also happened in Sapphire about business AI. SAP's investment also from this perspective is going ahead quite aggressively in this space, and by decade you will hear a lot of announcement, and hopefully all those things would definitely be useful for our customers as well in the AI and generative AI space as well. So what are we trying to do, right? So there's a bit of disclaimer. Some of the information that I provide you here is also kind of work in progress, and you can expect them to be ready at a later point of time. But as of now, it's more at the strategy level. So what do we do, right? AI is all about data, as you know. We start with data. We start with working on data sampling, and then build a model, and then do the training, and then produce the output. That's a typical and standard process. So we at SAP, we have quite a huge amount of data, because we have a lot of LOB solutions, various products and applications, be it with SAP, or be it with our partners, or be it with our customers themselves. They have their own solutions. So there's a lot of data that definitely gets generates out of SAP products and SAP ecosystem itself, right? So there is no dearth of data, and which we have been successfully running for the past 50 years as well. So that already provides a foundation necessary for AI projects, for any AI project as such. Now, keeping that in mind, we want to produce our strategy in a way that it becomes completely consumable and completely relevant for our customers, and also for our partners. Now, of course, you've seen this slide quite significantly. BTP, of course, BTP is also a driving force behind the AI infusion in the upcoming days. We have quite a few services already as part of BTP from AI portfolio. However, we would like to, we are working on enhancing further and bringing more and more new features also in these new and relatively unknown territories of generative AI and others, right? So I won't spend a lot of time specifically on this slide, because anyways, I think this is something which is already known to most of you. Okay, so coming to the topic of business AI, right? So what do we want to do at the end of the day, right? So we have processes, we have tools available in the market, we have techniques to do data science, which is also available in open source community and also in the market. But at SAP, what do we really want to do, right? I think that is where our main question that we need to answer. So what we trying to deliver is business AI, the AI which is very specific to our ecosystem, the AI which is more relevant for consumption of our application builders, or even our customers, our consumption specialists, or our integration specialists. So I think these are the places where delivering AI would make a lot of sense, and that is where our focus is on. So as you can see, the mid piece here, this is the business process specific AI. So this is where most of our technology is part of BTP resides today. So document processing, I think you might have heard about document processing. I'll also touch upon that a little later. Recommendation-based services, forecasting-based services, and also the today the generative AI-based services, then digital assistant. Now, core of the services, core of the technologies that that SAP has to offer is clearly part of the mid piece here, right? And as I said, the data, we have access to the data, we have access to the ecosystem, which is not a problem as such. So the input from input for these the services is data, and that is also available. And of course, our LOB solutions, whether it's Cloud ERP, HCM, Ariba, Concur, SuccessFactors, S4. So all these products and verticals also generate data, and they consume the intelligence out of this business AI, and then produce intelligent scenarios that can then again generate the data, which is a cyclical process that you can see here. Now, of course, I mean, this is something which could be a little straightforward, but in the coming slides, you will see how exactly are we trying to do this as part of our strategy. But given that there is a large volume of data available, and there is a need for our open ecosystem to be integratable to any AI development, right? So that is where we also provide integration to our open ecosystem. So what I mean by open ecosystem here is, so all those open sources, all those notebook kind of experiences, developer experiences, experimentation tooling and things like that for AI, which is publicly available as open source solutions or any other solution, should be also integratable. The main value proposition that we are trying to build here, we are not trying to compete with hyperscalers. We are not trying to also provide heavy tooling options to build your experimentation of machine learning. Rather, our key advantages lie in providing integration to all these experimentation and open source tooling, so that we can consume our data and build our AI solutions in a responsible way. So it could be about training, it could be about inferencing, it could be about building the entire lifecycle management of AI. So all those things will be definitely part of our product portfolios and ecosystem, but not too much into open source area or even hyperscaler areas. So that's the kind of business AI that the outlook that we are looking at providing in the coming days. Of course, as on today, we have some of these capabilities which are built in the form of AI core and launchpad or even business services. But in the coming days, you will see a lot of them getting even better as per generative AI and other strategies as well. So that's at a very high level what is the business AI that we are trying to address as part of SAP. Okay, so let's look at the scenarios, right? I think what is important is all these product strategies will be well understood or well resonated the moment we have identified some of the scenarios that can actually showcase the real value of AI, right? I think that's where this slide definitely helps you. The way we are trying to envision our workflows in different product portfolios, and the way in which they are getting productized. Either some of them are in the work, and some of them are already part of these applications. So these are the set of scenarios that are currently available as part of traditional AI, traditional artificial intelligence. When I say traditional AI, I mean to say that these are non-generative AI, or the AI which needs infrastructure, training, inferencing, and then consumption into your workflows, and are specific to a particular domain and workflows as such. When I say generative AI, they mean they are as you know NLP based, large language model based artificial intelligence scenarios. Now, if you look at these scenarios here today, they are already part of the product roadmaps. So if you look at finance, for example, we have cash application, we have intercompany reconciliation workflows, which would settle the transaction differentiations between two companies. And then when it comes to supply chain, we have demand forecasting related workflows. Then cross function, we have digital assistant, HR, skilled recommendation, learning recommendation, personalized training recommendations. Then when it comes to Ariba, we have 360-degree profiling of customer supply chain intelligence. So some of these are already part of our product portfolios, and we will continue to invest on these scenarios as well. So they will anyways be something which you can consume as part of the standard offering from the product, and continue to leverage your workflows in your AI productization journey. So that's one way of looking at it. The other way where we try to infuse um, you know with recent changes with regards to generative AI, what we are also trying to add is look at if you look at all these particular verticals, right? So for example, there are quite a few use cases or quite a few scenarios where generative AI can add a lot of values. So for example, resume generation, job description generation, interview question generation. So now these are niche workflows which would need the NLP based large language model kind of capabilities to actually generate the description out of it, right? So we have the data, we have recommendations that can be provided with the help of traditional AI. But given that there is generative AI which can also generate NLP based explanation, which can also provide prompt relevant responses. Now we can add additional capabilities regarding interview question generation, job description generation, and so on and so forth when it comes to HR, what you can see here. At the same time, if you look at procurement use case, right? So what we today also try to bring is 360-degree profiling of customer. I think this is also work in progress as of now. But if you look at Ariba, for example, uh, we have already built in some of the use cases that help identify demand and supply between vendors. But if you really look at procurement as such, now if you want a holistic perspective of a particular customer in terms of explanation, in terms of understanding what is their behavior and how is their how has been their behavior historically. Now generative AI based use cases are definitely coming a huge way there in those workflows as well. Now finance, sales and services especially, right? So if you look at sales and services, now we've had already a lot of services which can classify incoming service requests based on the severity component and all those things automatically based on AI. But now we can in fact allocate resources. We can in fact identify the significance, history, and the way in which the incoming request has the content, the depth of the content, and also automatically provide a response which makes sure that it is completely contextual and users can actually get real good responses without human intervention. Now these are some of additional capabilities that definitely can be added as from the generative AI. So there is a lot of capabilities that we are looking at in order to provide generative capable AI workflows to our existing product portfolios and product scenarios as such. Now, how do we do that? I think that's the main question. So, in order to do that, I think what we also need to understand is how the journey of AI as such has happened historically, right? So if you look at 70s, maybe that is when statistical machine learning started initially, and then people tried to formulate and predict some of the workflows using mathematical formulation, and then apply it as part of their solutions, which then was slowly overtaken by the predictive and capabilities that machine learning as a technology can offer late in 2010s. And then today, all of a sudden, in 2020s, we have generative AI, and we have quite a few significant players in generative AI disrupting our ways to productize our scenarios, right? So if you look at the time to actually realize the product, the productivity curve is pretty high. The solutions that are coming nowadays are ready for consumption. They can be tuned in. There is not much need to train significantly. Rather, they can be then consumed into our applications. So that's the key capabilities with which they are coming, which means the challenge that we also have to bring them to life is short, right? The expectation is going to be is completely disruptive, and we need to basically react quite fast in this space. So that is the situation. That's the evolution basically that has happened, and that's also a kind of situation that we need to live with today as such. Now, before we get into this slide, I would like to also talk about AI-centric and non-AI-centric applications, right? So, what is important for us is to understand what are AI-centric applications from SAP's point of view. We think that all those applications where AI piece is actually completely embedded, completely part of their workflows, and these workflows cannot execute without the help of AI. They are AI-centric applications. So, for example, intercompany reconciliations and invoice processing and all those things. Whereas something which is more in predictive in nature, which are nice to have, which adds a lot of value to our existing workflows, they are non-AI centric applications. So what we see is with the evolution of generative AI and also the classical machine learning, we see that there is a lot of surge. There is a huge transition of our products and scenarios that has happened from non-AI centric to AI centric application over a period of time. In fact, there the blurry differentiation between non-AI centric and AI centric is getting diminished, and more people are getting used to AI, and all those workflows which were nice to have are actually becoming part of the core workflows. That's the reality that we are also seeing. But however, the demand for non-AI centric and AI centric applications still continues, and we are still looking at ways to strengthen both of these product portfolios as such. And you will see in the coming slides how we can collaborate and basically build solutions for all these different areas. Now, what is SAP's approach? I think that is something what I said before is sort of basic that we need to understand to get into this explanation of SAP's approach for generative AI. So if you imagine a scenario, for example, as simple as invoice processing, right? So what we need to understand is the scale at which the invoices need to be processed. And for example, if you were to embed generative AI into that, we need to get the relevant business data or business significance out of those invoices, and then generate the explanation based on the current situation and current scenario, financial scenario that is related to this particular invoice, right? So imagine there are millions of such invoices that we need to process, right? And that is where our strategy for generative AI really comes into picture, right? So if you look at keeping that in mind, if you look at on the left hand side, we have business data, industrial expertise, whether it's Concur, SuccessFactors, Ariba, S4, whatever maybe, we have that context and also the expertise. But what is needed is the foundation models that can scale, that can generate this kind of NLP explanations, that can understand the context, provide contextual responses to the requests that are coming in, and then finally get them consumed as part of applications. The applications could be something which is SAP applications, or it could be the customer who is building standard BTP based application or consumption as part of their own scenarios as such. Now, in any of these cases, what we need to have is a strong value proposition for generative AI, where it can actually combine the power of generative AI and the context of business data and business process, all of them together, and yet provide the capabilities related to something like fine tuning, prompt engineering, and also be able to generate results that are specific for your business requirements and embed it as part of your application. So uh, that is very important for us, to provide something which can scale, something which can conform to all the SAP product standards, something which can which does not compromise on data privacy, data security aspects of product development or solution development, and also make sure that there is definitely a human element which is still involved, who can look at it and make sure that there are no errors in the overall process, and it can scale to this huge volume or expectation that is incoming. Now, that is the principle with which our generative AI's focus today resides at, and that is also something that with which our products and our portfolios in the coming days will be evolved and built with with these things in mind. So that's a bit detailed on SAP's approach for generative AI. Um, Little bit detail on the product portfolios in order to achieve what was mentioned before, right? So basically, if you look at our product portfolios, we have AI embedded in products. We have AI business services. I think some of you might have used AI business services as well. Then we have at the bottom our workflow engines that can help build your machine learning scenarios as such. Now, if you go to detail each of them, right? So embedded SAP products, I think I covered some of those scenarios in the previous slides already. But if you look at the examples like intercompany reconciliation, that's part of S4, cash application, part of S4, then workflow intelligence, personalized billing recommendations, part of success factors, then automatic invoice processing, I think it's a part of multiple products. Then digital assistant, you might be already aware of it. product pricing and recommendation, I think this is also something which is available as part of marketing solutions. So these are the solutions or the scenarios which are already embedded as part of SAP products. I think that is something that you should understand. Basically, these are already part of our SAP product portfolio. And of course, the investment in this direction will also continue and also will be reflavored with generative AI scenarios as such. Then SAP Business Services, of course, there are. I mean, these services are part of BTP, and they can be, used as any other standard service in BTP, which in using which you can actually do a lot of understanding of business context, completely based on artificial intelligence. So, for example, data attribute recommendation data attribute recommendation. So this service basically provides extracts the attributes out of the incoming data and then provides a recommendation of what is a business field and what is relevant for business and all those things automatically. So that's a service we have. Then document information extraction. It extracts the fields like the source, for example, from invoice. It extracts the information as such from from all the business entities that are that are coming in from business entities. Then there is business entity recognition, then personalized recommendation. So these are services which are generic in nature, but still they can be something which you can use to extract the relevant information without much of training, without much of investment in human elements that are necessary, and yet you can get the most of the business sense out of your incoming documents. So or even workflows as such. So that is AI business services, which is the standardized services available as part of BTP. Then of course, the main engine behind some of these and also upcoming days, the more and more investment which is going on in these workflow engines that you see in the bottom. So especially talking about AI Core, right? I think AI Core is going to be our workflow engine where it provides a completely Dockerized infrastructure for our users to train their machine learning models and infer that out of assigned resources, and then make sure that the lifecycle management of the entire machine learning projects are then taken care using AI Core. So that's AI Core part of it, and then AI Launchpad. AI Launchpad provides a unified view of AI Core from where you can actually manage your complete infrastructure in a completely responsive, user-centric way. So that's AI Launchpad. Then of course HANA will still continue. It has a lot of capabilities like PAL and APL, which will still continue to get enhanced. Then of course we have DataSphere. DataSphere also has a little bit of AI capabilities, and which will also continue as such. But significantly, the investment from AI productization, from bringing life to AI scenarios, the generative AI, and all those things, which is going to be invested heavily in AI Core and Launchpad. So that's the product portfolio that we have. Um, of course, the strategy for us is really important. I think what is important for us is to produce or be able to provide um, the features which can help embed AI into applications. I think embedding AI into applications, as you might have also realized from the previous slides, is going to be really important for us. We have more than 130 to 150 scenarios across SAP, which have AI flavor to it and are part of applications as such. Now, that's going to be our key strategy: embed AI into applications and into workflows, because that's when the consumption also happens in a significant way with regards to our customers, and the value proposition of AI also gets realized in the form of their workflows to our customers through these embedded AI scenarios. Then, of course, expose relevant AI services for extensions via BTP. I think this is also very important, especially from the partners or even from our customers who want to build customized solutions to our existing portfolio. Let's say they want to build a custom application, or they want to build a completely enhance the existing application by themselves. They can definitely use existing workflows and the extensions, existing services are the extensions as part of it, so that they can build these workflows and then start using this as part of their regular workflows as such. Now, having embedded in relevant AI capabilities, of course, the trustworthy AI, all those things that are necessary to build in the capabilities which are completely safe and secured, and also fulfills all our SAP's product portfolios, our product standards as such, also is something that is getting built along with. So these are the strategic pillar with which we are now today operating. So of course, as I said, mentioned, we are not in the space of general purpose AI, but however, what is important for us is to provide each and every capability of business AI that is relevant to producing machine learning scenarios and lifecycle management, embedding it as part of the applications, exposing all those services that can be used to build custom extensions or even customize your own applications. I think that is where our primary focus as SAP will continue to leverage on. So that's the strategy. And then, of course, ethics is something I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, because I think what is important for us is at SAP, we have a sidetrack project, which is also very important in terms of, providing guidelines for our customers and partners to build completely ethical and trustworthy AI-based scenarios as such. And of course, it can be referenced at a later point of time during your implementation phases as well. Now, coming to the main point, right? I think I've spoken about generative AI, how our synergies with product portfolios will continue, and things like that. But I think what is also important for us is, to understand what is the real strategy that we are today operating with, right? So if you look at our, uh, you might have seen the BTP, right? I think we have application development, automation, integration, data and analytics as part of the BTP. And of course, these are the large language models that we envision to be part of the BTP. It could be foundation models, or it could be something like business data and context-specific models, large language models, responsible and security related models, trust and logic related capabilities, right? So in one or the other way, we want to provide these capabilities / models as part of BTP, which can help build your generative AI scenarios. So this is one place where we are working with a lot of open AI, a lot of technology partners who provide generative AI capabilities, large language models as such. And today, you might have heard about OpenAI, Cohere, IBM, Aleph Alpha. There are these multiple vendors who are available today, and SAP is working with most of these vendors today, and then provide the generative AI capabilities with regards to our products and applications that can be integrated, either part of their workflows, or the features are enhanced further as part of our own platform. Provide prompt engineering and then scale it to multiple users as such. So that's the strategy that we have. Of course, as part of SSE, you might have also seen, if you're using SSE, you might have also already seen some of the AI specific capabilities. Of course, they are also going to be enhanced with the help of NLP capabilities as such. Then we have our applications. Of course, that is the third way in which we want to produce generative AI capabilities to be infused part of them. So our cloud, via our BTP, these services can then be consumed, and these applications can then be enhanced further as part of their business flows as well. Now, these are the challenges, and of course, the challenge that we also have at this place is to work with these multiple partners, and also work on the agreements. And tomorrow, let's say our customer wants to use a particular open AI or a generative AI part, as a tool, and tomorrow they want to shift to something different, then they should be able to do that, right? I think that is where providing that end-to-end capabilities for our customers to basically work with these large language models and then be able to integrate that as part of our applications is going to be important. So yeah, I think that's the key aspect. You can also see in this particular slide what is going to be our focus areas and what is the approach and opportunity that we at SAP want to provide. I think more or less I have kind of already covered this in my discussion so far. So I think I'll skip this slide, but then get into some of the use cases that probably helps you to understand the overall strategy in a much better way. Now, this is one such use case where it's about accelerating delivery node processing. I think what is important here is to understand the scale and the volume that we have in mind to process the invoices. This is about processing invoices and reduce the time consumption, manual checks, and inaccurate fleet orders, which typically happen during the manual, manual interference to work on these requirements as such, right? So what we have seen is we've been able to do a lot better. In fact, we have been able to reduce to 3 minutes per each delivery. Each delivery means each truck delivery bringing invoice as such. Imagine there are thousands and thousands of such scenarios which comes up, and of course there is a lot of savings that we have seen, and in fact the efficiency also gained by about 70%. But what is more important is with the generative AI we've been able to generate the responses which are more contextual, which are more specific to the business outcome that is expected, and also that is more relevant to the requirement, right? I think that's the value addition that we have seen in this particular example. Similarly, if you have SAP Application Analytics Cloud, so you have Just Ask feature as part of it, and it tries to simplify and explain the user queries in a completely user friendly way, right? I think that's an NLP based response that we are providing, which then is getting rephrased with generative AI capabilities, and then again you see a lot of value add with this particular workflow as such from the product point of view. Now, the third scenario, I think this is also getting a lot of relevance recently, is about code generation. So let's say, for example, we have a guideline of creating all the we let's say we are in the process of writing a code for creating CDS views as such using BTP application studio, or for to build a CAP application, or any such requirements, right? So there is a documentation, and there is a there are also other necessary files that we might have for CDS, right? So given that this is a situation that we can just leverage on the chat GPT capabilities or generative AI capabilities to generate the code for us, and we have seen that even in these scenarios our code generation capabilities have been able to help build GPT based CAP models and also the data generation. And in fact, it already provides a certain level of accuracy, which can then be taken up by the developers and then enhanced it further. So this is something for application development as well as for our developers to improve their efficiencies by leveraging generative AI within SAP ecosystem as such. Now, these are some of the other examples. Of course, there are quite a few examples that we have today. We are working on, as I mentioned, about 150 scenarios. But if you look at this particular scenario, right? It's all about 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 scenario, right? It's all about.
Yeah, I think you can continue now. So suddenly there was a repeat loop going on. I do not know what happened, but I think we
All right.
should now be able to continue.
Okay, so I also heard some back noise, so I got a little bit.
Looks like AI took over.
Yeah, looks like that.
All right, so I think let's continue then. So this is about intercompany reconciliation. So let's say there is, the transaction that happens typically between two companies. Let's say a supplier company and a vendor company, and a consumer company. So in those cases, there is a lot of wrong financial statements. There is, some subsidiaries which have uncovered costs, hidden challenges. So in those cases, all those things need to be uncovered, right? Intercompany reconciliation. So basically, since we know the process, since we also know that SAP systems are involved, we have our intercompany reconciliation AI-led solution, which is part of S4. So as on today, which can find out and suggest what are those business transactions that have these challenges that need to be settled in. So that's about intercompany reconciliation, and that's another use case. This is in fact was considered to be initially nice to have feature, but today it's part of S4, and it's very well used by all of many of our customers today as such. Yeah. Um, yeah. And then procurement, I think Ariba use cases. Yeah, there are a lot of such use cases where Ariba can be benefited from. For example, all those Ariba users can now have 360-degree view of their customers, their vendors. In fact, they can then get personalized recommendations of whom should they go with as buyers, and also get complete sourcing information from a supplier as such. So of course there are quite a few scenarios, as you can see on the right hand side. Some of them are in the process, and some of them are already part of the solution. So guided buying, I think that is something which is coming, which provides end-to-end visibility of the entire transaction that can happen, and also can provide recommendation as to who is the vendor that you should go with and things like that. So that's also getting revamped today. So that's an explanation of that, and it's going to be completely personalized. And the moment it comes to personalize these workflows, then generative AI comes into picture that can provide a lot of context setting to all these scenarios as such. Then employee experience, then we have learning recommendation. I think one of our customers was greatly benefited by this, and they could come up with all those scenarios which can help their employees rather find out what is their career recommendation or learning recommendations as such, from the overall career path perspective. A combination of career path recommender, learning recommender, I think all of them definitely help them to find out, and there is also good response from those employees as such. Yeah, that's part of experience management. Then, of course, supply chain, we have quite a few scenarios that we are looking at. So, for example, visual inspection, I think that's something very important, that stock in transit. And can we visually experience or inspect something based on photographs and things like that, and make sure that the stock is well maintained, and the entire supply chain is then taken care seamlessly. So that's visual inspection part of it. And when it comes to manufacturing, also we have a very similar capabilities via visual inspection, where an item which is getting manufactured gets visually inspected for the quality check, and then the rejection or rest of things happen then and there itself without needing human intervention as such. So that's a visual inspection part of it. Then we also have a lot of other capabilities that will be part of guided selling, marketing intelligence, part of marketing solutions as such. Sales also is getting getting personalized with a lot of AI capabilities. um, so in the interest of time, I will skip on many of them and basically get into the core of what we're trying to do, right? So these are some of the scenarios that probably helped you to understand what do we really want to do as part of the overall strategy, and some of the use case scenarios which probably helped you also to understand how at SAP we are trying to build AI which is more centric to our portfolio as well as to our customers in a way that can be embedded in the application, or it can be something which can be extended by and customized further using our services as such. But given that we have a couple of services as part of product portfolios, so like I mentioned, AI Core and Launchpad, that's going to be really, and also business services. These are going to be something which are getting significantly value added with the help of generative AI. Let's try to see what they are actually in terms of the product offering. So let's get into this AI Core as a service. So AI Core, as I said, as I described before, this provides the AI building capabilities when it comes to training, serving, and then finally using that into your applications as such, right? I think what is important here is provide the deployment capabilities. You should be able to deploy confidently. Those are the themes that we have, and integrate natively with our applications as such. So those are the two themes with which AI Core today operates. This is a service which is available as part of BTP. Now let's look at deploy confidently. So what it actually means is it provides, I mean, if you look at all those AI business services, right? So I spoke about business entity recognition, document information extraction, attribute recommender, and all those things. They are the backdrop of it is actually running in AI Core. Of course, some of them are getting migrated to AI Core, but majority of them are actually running within the AI Core infrastructure. Now, AI Core, which means that AI Core basically provides you with the runtime capabilities to build your complete machine learning projects. And also with the help of AI Launchpad, you can monitor, operate, and manage your complete workflows as well as part of the UI user interface that you're going to get as part of BTP application. Now that's the AI Core as such. It has all the standard interfaces. It also provides complete integration with AI APIs, with the OData APIs that can help you to build your application with the help of AI Core as such. Now, some of the key value propositions with AI Core. It's completely pay per use, which means that you just pay for what you're going to use. It also provides some of the capabilities like auto scaling, which means that if your requirements are not to use 10 gigs, rather 2 gigs of memory, then it can just scale based on your request automatically without you needing to intervene by yourself. Then scale to zero, of course, if you don't have a expected load, it automatically scales to zero to save costs. And time to live, of course, you can define the time for each of these models, machine learning models that run underneath to live to a particular duration, so that it then expires after that, and you can save further costs. Then model serving, multi-model serving capable. I think this is going to be important because now you have the capability to attach more than one models into a single model server, which would save a lot of cost to our customers when they are building their scenarios as such. Now, those are some of the key capabilities with regards to AI Core. Of course, you can build a lot of these scenarios with regards to AI Core, and there are these complementing open sources like Metaflow, Kubeflow, MLflow, and all those things can definitely be very well integrated, from the open source community. And, with the help of computer vision package or even business services that you have seen, you can, in fact, with the help of AI Core and business services, you can provide a comprehensive and complete solution for your requirements as such. When it comes to integration, the AI Core already provides integration to AI API, which is inbuilt. In fact, AI API is a standardized API access for all your machine learning development. It's a little bit of technical, but I think what you can understand at this point is AI API is a standard API that can help you to identify the different aspects of your machine learning development with the help of AI Core, and then speed up your development process as such. Um, So these are the integration capabilities. Of course, we have integration with ISLM that can also help you to further build your S4 based scenarios as such. Now that was about AI core, and similarly we have uh, we also have business services, like I mentioned before. This is part of BTP, and they are completely generic services which are built for specific requirements of let's say, for example, business entity recognition or document information extraction. Now the customers who are using these services will automatically get trained machine learning models that can do this job for them. And then if they want to further extend it, enhance it based on their customization requirements, they can also feel free to do so. And then finally consume it either part of your business applications or anything as such, or if you want to further complete your workflow by providing the output of this extraction into, let's say, generative AI service or AI core service as such, you can also do so to build your customized machine learning development experiences as such. Now that's also about business services. Of course, I put up a few quite learning materials that I can share that you can go through for your references as well. Now, I think a little bit of uh, I think this is more of a partner relevant scenario, but however, for customers, what they also need to understand is that the ways for them to build AI scenarios is in fact multiple. So one way is to get build the packages that they can use for their various LOB requirements, which can be consumed, or they can even customize their applications completely based on their requirements as such. Now, availability of these services, of course, as you can see, they are available as part of BTP. Now, when it comes to AI Core and Launchpad, it's available both in free tier and standard options. So when we say free tier, you can in fact create a instance with free tier, but of course it will have some limitations as such, in terms of connectivity, in terms of capabilities that it can offer. However, with the standard options, there is no such limitations. You can continue to use it as long as you wish to, and of course, it's completely based on the consumption, which means that it's a pay as you go model. Or if you have CPEA, we also respect CPEA models as such. Then all these services, which are part of business services, document attribute recommender, service ticket intelligence, personalized recommender, business entity recognition, all of them are also available as part of BTP for consumption as such. Now, there is also a pricing calculator or a cost calculator as such. I will not get into that in detail, but the point that I wanted to mention is, since this is completely based on consumption, we have one single metric which is called as capacity unit. I think you might be aware of this term, capacity unit, which is a measure of the entire consumption that you have, and it will be completely charged based on the capacity unit. The commercial model is going to be based on this commercial capacity units as such. Now, of course, we have a lot of customers who are in fact benefited already with the help of the AI technologies that we offer. But in summary, what I want to leave it here at this point is, it's something which is looking at building for business as such. It's built in, it's completely relevant and responsible. I think that those are the key takeaways that you should also have when we say built in. All those generative AI, non-generative AI capabilities which are going to be available, and which are already available as part of BTP, and the applications as such, can then be scaled and consumed already, and they have complete adherence to product standards and securities with regards to SAP. And then they can then be consumed and extended as part of your solutions that you want to build, and that you want to build in the future, and then scale it accordingly as well. And of course, relevant, of course, if you want to build BTP-based applications or any other applications as such, you can then be also benefited from these services, which can go a long way in building your AI solution, AI-based use cases to your applications as well. Then, of course, responsible. As I mentioned before, it's completely safe, and data privacy protection, personal data, all those things are completely respected here. And since it completely follows the BTP standards, you can be rest assured that all those product standards and responsible way of delivering AI is also kind of taken care. So that's what I had. Of course, there are quite a few learning materials and also community pages that can be joined in and get benefited from as well. So that was from me. Any questions as of now?
Thanks, Srivasa. I guess there are no questions so far, even on the chat. So feel free to ask any questions if you have, or ask on the chat, so we can monitor and answer this. We can hand it over to Varun for the next segment of the call if there are no further questions. Yeah, Varun, over to you. Thank you, Srivasa, for the nice time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just a quick check. You can hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you. If you can share your screen as well.
Yes, yes, just 1 second.
Thank you.
Okay. Apologies. This is the browser of there's a browser setting for me to allow me to share screen.
Okay. You can figure out. In the meantime, if any of you guys are using AI for or any other AI other than SAP or SAP BTP AI, please feel free to share your experience on the chat or unmute yourself and you can share your experience. So at least we know what you are doing and what exactly use cases you are trying to address in the future, even in case you have any use cases. Later on, I'll share you a link so you can nominate your use cases to SAP, and SAP product experts, SAP experts will guide you on how to develop those use cases using BTP. So probably like you can bring your own use case and develop that using SAP platform.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Not yet, Varun.
Oh, okay. I was sharing. Let me reshare. Oh, okay. It says I have to give it some screen recording. Can you give me 1 second? I'll rejoin.
Sure.
Can you make me co-host, Bhavesh, to give me screen recording, please?
Yes, let me see whether I have authority to make you. No, I don't have authority to make you co-host. You are already as a co-host. Mukesh had already made you co-host.
But it says host disabled attendee screen sharing.
You can share your deck with me or Srivasa, because I can't make you co-host and Mukesh has already gone for the meeting. Mukesh is not there, so he's the only one who can make you co-host.
Okay. I'll just share you the deck.
Share it with Srivasa or me.
Okay, I've sent you the online link. If you can just, you should have got a mail. Sorry, my Zoom app was not there, so I had to join from the browser, and I think from the browser there are a lot of challenges. Oh, there are 2 sessions in my name.
Varun, you have sent it on email, is it?
Yes, but I sent it to Bhavesh.
Okay.
Bhavesh, did you get it?
Yeah, I'm just opening it.
Okay.
Just give me a second. I just received your email. Trying to open the deck. Looks like a good deck. 300 plus.
Srivatsa, are you able to make? So there are 2 Varuns. I see.
Yeah,
can you make me
previous
presenter?
session.
Can you give presenter on the other Varun as well?
Let me check 1 second.
If you can make me co-host on that one. There are 2 Varun Tamba SAP for some reason.
The other session got dropped, Varun, so not possible.
Yeah, you were presenter earlier, and this one we don't have authority to make presenter or make you co-host. Only Mukesh.
Okay, so you can share your screen, Bhavesh, when ready, and I'll walk through.
Yes, give me a second. I'll share my screen. Still opening up at.
Varun, is it the same slide that you had shared with me a long time back?
No, maybe there are some.
Let me know once you see my screen.
Yeah. You can project. So maybe from the next slide. Thank you everyone for the opportunity, and sorry about the slight delay. So if you see, SAP's business AI services have been rated in terms of being industry leaders and top 3, in fact, in terms of embedded AI capabilities. And SAP has been rated as one of the most AI forward SaaS companies in the world. And it is significant because given the kind of legacy that comes with SAP and the fact that SAP technologies are more in mission critical, making that a platform of innovation and AI forward is quite a big achievement, I would say. And that way it is a proud moment for us to say that SAP is seen as the 3rd most AI forward looking companies in the world. Right, next slide. And as what's already pointed out, we are going from a system of intelligence to a system of record to a system of intelligence with AI, right? So from the ERP just being a place where transactions were captured, and today being a system of engagement where with S4HANA you can do real-time interactions, to with AI becoming a system of intelligence, the AI has to be relevant, reliable, and responsible, right? As Vatsa pointed out, and that is because when you are dealing with things like financials, things like secure business decisions, the AI or the a technology recommendation has to be relevant to the business process. It has to be reliable for us to take decisions on top of it. And thirdly, we should secure enterprise data without exposing it out, right? So it has to be responsible as well. So relevant, reliable, responsible become the 3R framework on which our AI strategy is built. And in the next slide, what does this exactly mean of going from a system of record to a system of intelligence? Is the business processes itself are getting autonomous, and we are getting real-time insights. So if you just play through the animation, you will see that generative AI and AI in general has a lot of role to play in every aspect of the business, be it operations, real-time insights, or ability to get autonomous process, right? So some of the scenarios that we have done where we have leveraged the technology is, for example, we have leveraged generative AI to ensure that invoice posting is faster, because in some places OCR is not capable enough to look at new invoices and pick the data, where generative AI can read the entire text and pick out the relevant fields from there, right? So if you can just play through that video, maybe right from between, from the center you can play. Yeah, just browse to the center. Yeah, just on the scroller of the video, you can just go to the center. Yeah. So yeah, maybe just leave it. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, towards the end, you can actually see that we are able to leverage the generative AI capabilities. Maybe the video is still buffering. We are able to actually leverage generative AI capabilities to make our entire document information extraction faster, right? So extracting a data from Outlook using RPA, leveraging generative AI to read the right data, and punching supplier invoices within S/4HANA automatically is something that the system can do, completely, powered by generative AI. The second example that I also wanted to talk about is how we are able to create product master data faster. Right, in the next slide. Right, and if you just play through this video, you can see how you can create your product master data faster, right? So typically in creating master data, you need to read all the various parameters of it. You need to look for photos, you need to look for the language in which the master data needs to be created. But here we are actually leveraging GPT-4 to actually create master data on the fly, right? So this app has been built with the SAP build no code app, where I'm actually going to create the product master. So I go to create the product master from a specification sheet. I am scanning the product. So in this case, it is an LED bulb from Panasonic. I am taking pictures of all side of this product, and the generative AI is reading all the text that it is there in the packaging. It is passed on to Chat GPT. Chat GPT is taking the title, translation, measure, dimension, all the parameters of this product, and creates in whatever language I want. Here you can see it provides me multiple language support. In whichever language I want the product master to be created, it automatically creates the sales text, and also allows me to edit the base unit of measure and stuff like that. Based on that, it creates automatically the sales text and translations and all of it. And then from here, I am able to post it directly onto the S/4HANA product master system, right? So again, leveraging generative AI capabilities to create product master faster. So that's another example of how operations, right, you can see on the left side, can be made more effective and seamless with generative AI, right? If we go into the next slide, next example, we can see how we are also leveraging.
Sarah receives an automated message in Teams from the SuccessFactors bot reminding.
Correct. So here you can see how we are leveraging real-time insights with generative AI. So here, based on a resume using a Teams bot, I am asking a Chat GPT to or I'm asking a generative AI to generate me interview questions. And the interview questions are automatically generated based on the job profile as well as external parameters. And once the interview was done, I am able to do the entire interview summary of how the interview went and all of that based on the notes captured also intelligently, and then posted directly onto the interviewing module, right? So this is a real-time insights during an interview for an interviewer that generative AI provides. And in the next example, and maybe Shivatsa already talked about it, is on how we are leveraging generative AI from an analytics standpoint. We are able to use conversational AI using the just ask capability, where you can in generative AI ask any analytical question, and the system is able to provide these kind of dashboards based on the natural language queries that you write on top. It can automatically create these charts, right? So this is an example of how real-time analytics, apart from operations, also we are enabling with generative AI. Now, if we go to the third, if we go to the next slide. Right. So here we spoke about operations and real-time insights. Now I want to talk about how we are able to enable generative AI on all of SAP data to create an autonomous, intelligent business process. Right. Now I want to talk about a solution that we are working on called the business decision simulator. Now, if we go on the next slide, we can see it in action, where a GPT and multiple engines come together, where I am now taking a cash flow statement. As you can see, I am embedding the cash flow statement, within, my GPT based chatbot. It is analyzing the complete cash flow statement from the PDF and giving me the entire summary of the cash flow. Based on this, I am now asking the simulation model to plug in and see how the entire cash liquidity is linked, right? So cash liquidity is a function of revenue, profit, and revenue is a function of total cost, EBITDA, and stuff like that. So that entire model is built on the fly. Now I'm asking the system to plug it on with S/4HANA finance data. So my live data for the cash flow, it brings in the real-time information, and it does the entire cash liquidity one. Now I take a McKinsey report as a PDF, as you can see, and this McKinsey report I am giving it to the system, and I am asking it to extract the commodity price projections for it and plug it into my report, right? So then the system is plugging in energy cost, sugar unit cost, and all of that, and then plugging it into the model that I have, and is giving me a simulation of, based on external factors from the McKinsey report, how my overall cash flow can look like, right? And it is giving me this complete analysis here in the response. Then I'm asking it, how do I optimize liquidity based on these factors? Give me some options. So the system is giving me 3 options, right? So it is saying secure long-term contracts, invest in energy efficient technology. So like that, system is also providing me business recommendations using the large language model. And based on this, I am able to say that, can you summarize a short mail that I can send to my CFO, for example. So it is creating that entire mail, dear recipient, please find the mail and stuff like that. And automatically this entire mail can be sent from the simulator to a decision maker, right? And this is how we are envisioning generative AI to transform how the entire business processes will run, right? So to summarize, in the next slide, probably I spoke about how the business decision simulator, how in success factors and in various other solutions we are leveraging generative AI, either through BTP as well as some standard capabilities together. And Shivatsa would have already talked about this architecture, but the architecture basically enables us to bring in either data to the external models, maybe sitting on an hyperscaler, it could be OpenAI or a Bard, or if we want to host custom LLM models or open source models like Llama 2 or any other custom models from an industry that you want to build, you can actually host it within AI core itself, and completely not expose the data to outside. But having said all of this, our roadmap is also always to ensure that we are not exposing enterprise data outside, given that responsible AI is something that we are very strongly focusing on, while we are also being reliable and relevant to the business process when we do this AI. Right. So these are some field examples that I wanted to talk about today to the esteemed audience, so that based on your inputs and your use cases that you have, we are happy to work on based on this architecture, and provide you some roadmap and some pilots to leverage this new age technology to make your business processes in SAP that much more intelligent, and autonomous, right? Maybe you can just go a little further. Next slide. Yeah. So yeah, you can play through the animation, right? So if you look at SAP's core process, yeah, no, behind, back, please. Yeah, right. It is always on core processes, right? So if you look at an order to cash or a procure to pay, in this case we have the procure to pay as an example. There are various places where AI can play a role. So for example, when I'm creating a purchase requisition, how much is the right quantity to buy, where should I buy it from, who should I buy it from, and when is the right time to buy if there is a seasonality. Like that, there are many scenarios where AI can actually play a part, be it generative AI or standard AI, to make our processes more driverless, right? So we call things like faceless procurement, so that system is intelligently able to help you in a procurement process or in a sales process or in a a record to report process from a finance as touchless as possible. So our focus as SAP is to try and bring the latest and greatest of these technologies into the core processes like procure to pay, order to cash, hire to retire, record to report, to make it more intelligent and touchless. And that's where as I said, we are keen to work with you. If you have scenarios that we can support as well, as Rajiv pointed out earlier. Right. So just to summarize in the next slide, as we said, the business AI is something that is relevant, reliable, and responsible, and it basically allows us infinite possibilities. And if you just play the animation one last time, it actually then allows us to go from being a system of record, the previous slide, please, a system of record to a system of intelligence, using these infinite possibilities, right? So I would want to leave this message with you, that SAP is enabling the system of intelligence powered by business AI through relevant, reliable, and responsible insights, right? So if you have any questions, I'm happy to take them now on any of these use cases or any technologies that we just spoke about. We can stop sharing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Varun and Srivastava. So do we have any questions? Anybody has any questions so far on the nice presentation done by Srivastava and Varun? If not, I'll quickly go through the nomination. So, I mean, this is all about what SAP BTP, SAP AI can do for you, right? But in case you have any use cases, you have any doubt whether SAP, that use case or that challenge can be addressed by SAP BTP or SAP AI tool, feel free to nominate your use case. And this is a link I'm going to share later. You can provide your use case. There is a deck given at the end of the use case where you can upload your use case detail to us. We will evaluate it. We will see how SAP can help you on developing those use cases using BTP. And we will definitely handhold you throughout the development of use case. You can also leverage on SAP's free tier solution, BTP free tier solution to get the SAP's BTP tool for free, and you can see whether that can SAP BTP can solve your problem, or if there are any other tool which can help you to solve those use cases, right? Anything? I mean, do we have a Manju in the call, or here basically we are just asking you to provide your company code, your address, full name, contact details, and what help or what are the use cases, few challenges or few words, and then about the challenges which you are facing, and then use our deck to provide more detailed information about your current architecture, current infrastructure, which you have, detail about your current pain points. You don't have to find not necessarily to use AI, but any other BTP solution, or even if you don't know whether that what solution can help you to solve the problem. Just give us your business challenge, business use case, and we will evaluate it. We will see what SAP's BTP solution can help you to solve the problem. Do we have a Manju in the call? Manju, any other
No.
remarks, or anybody from the call has any other closing remarks from, or any other question, any doubt, any clarification, anything? Please feel free to share. Yeah, I don't see anything on the chat so far. So looks like we have a quiet audience, but yes, feel free to share whatever idea, whatever doubts you have, what not.
Yeah, meanwhile, just wanted to just say that thanks to everybody for being with us for these enablement sessions. Although this is the last of all of these, but let this also not be like a end of engagement. Like how Bhavesh is saying, you can also nominate your use cases, and also via Mukesh, you can also let us know if some of these topics you have further questions. We can also have, let's say, a specific meet the expert kind of a Q&A session if required for any of these topics. So this was just put together to kind of spark your interest and tell you, enable you with all the capabilities that BTP can provide. Now, our wish is that you start kind of thinking about how BTP can play a role within your companies in solving your business problems. And this, what Bhavesh is currently showing, will be a great opportunity to kind of leverage that. But even otherwise, right, if you say that I have this in my future, please feel free via Mukesh to also reach out to us in case of questions. In case you don't have anything immediately, then I think, Bhavesh, we can also close the call.
Yeah, I'll put the link on the chat.
Yeah.
In the same time, all these sessions, even if you have, this is a last session or any other sessions, if you have used so far, please, all the previous sessions will be available. The recording will be available for previous sessions and on the INDUS website. So you can, if you have missed any of the previous sessions, feel free to use those recordings. So the recordings will be available on INDUS website, and you can listen to those recordings. Some of those contact details are also available on all those recordings. In the worst case, you can reach out to Mukesh, and Mukesh will link you to the right expertise within our BTP product management team. Yeah. We still have 7 minutes left in the call. So in case anybody wants to have any other discussion in the call, feel free to have a discussion here. If not, myself and Manju will be here to answer any of your questions. Otherwise, I thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining the call, being a part of our enablement series throughout the last 6 weeks. And we will be there to help you develop those use cases, whichever or whoever has nominated so far. And whoever has not nominated but have any doubts, feel free to nominate your use cases. Not necessarily all the use cases can be resolved by SAP BTP. We will evaluate those use cases. We feel that if those use cases can be resolved using BTP, and if we have a real use case, because many of those you might not know, but some of those use cases might already have been resolved by SAP as a different or standard product offering, which you have seen for previous series, right? So we will guide you to those use cases which are already the solution is available. If not, probably we will help you to see whether we can help you to solve those use cases, and we will guide you wherever we can. So feel free to nominate your use case. We will review, we will validate and revert to you. And if there are no further questions, if there are no further doubts, feel free to drop. Myself and Manju will be here for another 5 minutes. If you have any, or if anybody has any questions. Looks like there are no further questions, so let's wrap up the call. And thank you very much again. Thanks for Srivastava for and Varun for nice presentation. Thank you, Manju, for helping us. And thank you everyone for joining the call. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.